man, that's a heck of a win. On the road, right? On the road. Think it off to a great start. Hey, guys going down, guys stepping up, man. Gritty win. Proud of you guys, man. Give yourself a lot of good in that game. A lot of good in the game. Defense taking the ball away. Special teams, T-Bass, Sam Martin, fun the heck up. And then offensively, that last drive, that was elite, man. Elite, we needed 17. Win's the only thing that matters, man. That's it. We got to 8. Let's go get to 9. I remember Buffalo. Hey, listen, a great example, right, of when your number's called, being ready.
DFL Football 25. Bills Mafia, that's a win. Let's go. All right, folks, come on. Welcome in the DFL podcast on another Victory Monday. Let's go, baby. 30-20 over the Colts in Indy. That was fun to watch, folks. It was I think the Bills played well. Obviously, the defense a little bit more so. 4 takeaways. That extends their streak going back to last year. I think it's 11 games now with a straight takeaway. And this week, 4 of them, which, Flacco, I thought was going to present a few more problems than he really did. He looks a little, he looks his age a little bit. Not quite as bad as Rodgers has been looking, but let's not start the show talking about the Jets. You want that? You go find a Jets podcast. But you ain't going to find a podcast like this one here, the DFL. Welcome in, like, comment, subscribe. Comment anything below on the game, what you thought of it, or what we'll probably all be talking about, because we're kind of going to just move past this one. We won't. Tommy will be discussing with me. Chucky's still in Hawaii on his honeymoon, so good for him, son of a bitch. But, he's been playing around in the waves, learning how to surf, all that fun stuff. Congratulations. But we're not going to, Tommy and I don't just blaze right by the Colts game, but go ahead and leave a comment. Talk about what you might think about the upcoming game, because that's what everyone's already turning their attention to. And I can't blame anybody for doing that. I had my mind on Kansas City 3 weeks ago. So they're 5 in a row now, 5 straight since the loss to the Texans, who lost to a team we face in a few more weeks. So we're entering the gauntlet now, folks. What do you think about that? But before we move on into the gauntlet, before we head into all that shit, we have to go back and just discuss what happened yesterday a little bit, don't you think? We'll go around the league too a little bit, talk about some of the other games. First, drop some of the game stats here. Overall, Allen, what he put up? 23 of 37 passes for 280 yards, 2 picks, 0 touchdowns. He didn't throw a touchdown. Ran one in, of course. He's nearing Thurman Thomas's record. That's some beautiful shit. But speaking of running backs, James Cook, he ran for 80 yards in a score. You saw that one. Did his signature flip. Yeah, and made sure he had a little room to do it. A little showboating, but a lot of fun. Good to watch. Carried the ball 19 times. Flacco, though, went 26 of 35 and 272 yards. Very similar, but he threw up 2 scores instead of 0, like Allen. And yet the Bills pull out the win, and that's why I started this with defense. And Allen made some amazing plays. I mean, that pass down the sideline to Hollins, jumping almost out of bounds. Nothing new for Allen, but beautiful to see. You got that connection. I think that's still haunting him. The miss to Kincaid early in the game, down the side. That was. Is that Kincaid not catching quite up to the ball yet, or that's Allen putting a touch too much on it, man? Which is very likely with that fucking rifle. He has to control back there. He has to contain that thing. He has to hold it back like some kind of a body snatching alien that's taken over him. Just, it's like Idle Hands. Remember that movie? Remember Devin Sawa? Whatever happened to that guy, I have no idea, but.
Yeah, there's something wrong with my friend. I think he took some nutmeg or something. Ah!
Nick.
Yeah.
Buddy, I'm not the killer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I know. But, if OJ could get off, then I'm sure. Do you need a beer? No, thanks. You sure?
Yeah, no control. It's the devil's doing it, and that's kind of how I see Allen's army. He's got to try and tame this thing, and it's like he was close, almost had it. But is that something that you're worried about for next week? Shouldn't be. I don't think. I'm not worried about it. Nah, Allen plays good against the Chiefs, man. Always does. So it's going to be more our defense playing the way they've been playing, and seeing how well our receiving core can do against that Chiefs defense. That's going to be tough because they did pull out the win yesterday, of course. You know it, 9-0. You know what they are. Anyway, that's it. Welcome in the DFL podcast, man. Listen to Tommy and I have a conversation. All right, here we go. I don't know how you felt, but it was, to me, mostly defense that was most impressive yesterday, man.
Definitely. They the star of the show. But I think the offense basically was trying to do too much too soon. I think the Bills need that sluggish beginning.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, the only 2 weeks that I seen them come out fast and have it work in their favor was against Miami and Jacksonville. The other games, even the ones that they lost, they started out sluggish, but in the second half they took over, And I think yesterday our offense was trying to start out fast again, get the jump on this team, and
right.
It wasn't working to their favor,
Right. It's kind of something I said a while back, which I know might sound almost a little, I don't know. I guess it's confrontational. I don't think that's the right word for it, but the idea that I prefer that they start slow. It lights a fire under them. It seems like it, and I don't know. I have more faith in that. When they start off a little slow, I'm like, all right. But when they have the advantage, they jump off. Like, I can't argue with it though. I mean, come on, to open the game, it's like, okay, I stayed positive. Going, offense looked good there, a little bit of a rhythm for a minute, and then they, they got stopped. It's okay. It's the first drive of the game, and then Taron Johnson comes out first play. And takes that pick six, man, and that's I would never argue with that any day of the week. I'll take that every Sunday, man. But then now they got to maintain this. Now they got to keep it up. It's an issue of maintaining it. Do you think that's that's really more preferable to start slower? You're thinking now, or I don't know. It's to me that was a crazy kind of thing to say, like the beginning of the season when I said that before. But now it does feel kind of different, right?
Yeah, it seems like they're more comfortable when they're coming from behind. It's almost like now it looks like to the average person, if they turn around and say, oh, the Bills are losing again, now they gotta do this, they gotta do that, and they put a lot of gotta in there. But I'm seeing it as though, like, okay, we have them right where we want them. They think they're in control. And like, right. Oh, wow, look at this. Uh-huh. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's, and it's just to be like, oh, that's where they have to be in order to get rolling.
Right, exactly. But, I mean, this also sounds like just crazy Buffalonian fanboy shit or something, I could see it being taken that way. Like, it just sounds nuts.
It does. It sounds crazy, but... I mean, that's how I see it. I mean,
I just can't see that speech in the locker room. Like, all right, boys, let's start off slow and let's dupe them, or what I mean. Like, let's not worry so much about how we start this game.
The rope and go.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's hard to picture that.
The reason I say that is because times that they come out, they receive the ball first, and they try to jump and get a head start going, shit goes wrong, man. That's when Allen threw his picks.
Yeah.
Or they're 3 and out. They're 3 and out the first 2-3 times they have the ball.
Yeah.
Now it's like, 10-7 or, even it's been as high as 17-7, at the end of the half, or 16-3,
right.
But then they come out, and the other team, if they ball first or not, the first time they have the ball, the defense just, like we could have done this all day, they just shut them down. Buffalo gets the ball, maybe 5 plays later, they're in the end zone. But usually it's about 3 plays.
Yeah.
He comes out, hits a 25-yard pass, 40-yard pass, boom, end zone,
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, like, wow, you woke us up. We're in a game.
Yeah. Right.
Work now.
Almost forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, the flight's over.
Yeah, because it's wild. Because really, at no point did the game feel like it was out of their control to me. Like even when now we can talk about Taylor because like your wife said yesterday that wow, this guy's good. She's not real familiar with yeah. But how much of it is how phenomenal of a back he really is. But it's also, if you have a fairly decent running back, you're getting yards on Buffalo's defense, it seems like. So I do kind of worry about how much that might be an issue, especially, later in the year when running is much more important heading into January, So, yeah, do you worry more about the run defense, though? Because, they gave up a lot of yards yesterday. Is that, what do you think about it? And, or are you more just I should say, encouraged by the way how they can they can give up those yards they know are going to come and it's going to happen, but they are able to just punish you and it doesn't matter that how many yards they let up. Is it more encouraging, or are you more worried about the defense to run?
No, I think our defense, again, is like at Robidoux. They let them have yards. To me, it just seems that way. Because look at it. And it was
it tires them out. Let them have a bunch of yards early. Get them a little tired too.
You want to get tired, They think they're wearing us down, like Buffalo can be ran on. I hear that every week. Buffalo's run defense. They don't have the guy plugging the hole. Oliver isn't doing this. Mm-hmm. That one isn't doing that. You're not hearing this guy's name. None of this shit, right? Second half comes along, and all of a sudden, Oliver gets him in the backfield, or pow! Right. Oh man, he opened up the hole for what's his name, Gross.
Quentin Jefferson yesterday. Yeah.
Jefferson, right? Comes back and he gets
right. Comes back that week.
It happens in the second half. It starts in the third quarter, and they were like all of a sudden, even Henry. Okay, Henry had that 60-yard run touchdown, right? Yeah. All right, he's 100 yards already, and it's just the first half. The second half, what did he do? He did shit until Buffalo screwed up.
Yeah.
And then he only had one play, but that's all he needed because, Buffalo was already behind.
Right.
And it was their fault,
Nothing clicked.
They did the same thing. They did the same thing same thing with the Miami Dolphins. And I'm telling you, the Dolphins, I think our defense was surprised when the Dolphins scored that tying touchdown. I think that surprised the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And they had that bomb out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was under pressure. I don't know, man. I just think Buffalo, they're not going to admit it. They're going to say it every week. We like to get that jump start. We like to, get ahead. Have control.
Got to start faster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing that is really true is when Allen turns around and says, I have to clean things up a little bit. I can't be doing that.
Yeah.
No, you can't be throwing interceptions all the time.
Right.
You got to get back in gear, bud. But that's
yeah. That was the next thing I guess there is to touch on is there were a couple of those places under pressure. And he kind of, I don't want to call it that sugar high or anything like that, but it's that kind of reckless behavior. You saw a little bit of that sneak out of Allen yesterday for sure.
Thinking he can do anything.
Right. But overall, I was I was impressed with the win and the way they got it. Man, didn't bother me at all because that ended up with a pretty comfortable finish in my opinion. And when you don't get to sit back at the end of a lot of Bills games, or at least not over the years we haven't,
Right.
I'm sure Chucky would say a lot of what we've said here now is a bunch of Homer shit. While he's floating around in Hawaii or wherever he is still, claiming he won't do the show because Tommy's audio isn't the best yet. But really we know it's because I think he's turning his coat on the Bills, man.
Yeah, he's one of those that's going to say, they run all over our defense. It's terrible on the run, Chucky, you don't watch the second half.
Yeah, I know. He taps out at halftime probably.
He watches the first half, and the second half he's like, all about the offense. But he forgets when the offense has the ball. Who stopped? The team. stopping themselves.
He's got a point about the audio, though, too, man, because you did kind of cut out on that point a little bit.
Oh.
He's got a point about the audio. I'll give him that credit.
Maybe I have to sit a little closer.
Yeah, something. Hey, it's all right. We'll get it figured out, man. That was a great win, though. Anything else you want to say about the game yesterday, man? Before we move on, maybe around the league a little bit. Oh, he's got Biff in the background.
Yeah,
it's all right. Yeah, so anything else you want to say about the game, man?
The last thing I'll say is that the defense played an exceptional game. They carried the team, as I said in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And, well, I don't know if you want to say once they woke up or once they got into their groove. I'll say once they got into their groove, but I think that's the way they plan it. If they want to admit it or not to the public, that's how it looks to me.
It's a hot take. Hot take, Tommy. Hot take. But that's fun, man. I can't say there's a lot of evidence to the contrary right now.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, what about any of the games? Any of the games yesterday surprised you, man? Anything stand out? I mean, there really wasn't a whole hell of a lot of surprising games, I don't think, man. I mean, the 49ers winning, by 3. The Chiefs was probably one of the most surprising games because they probably should have lost it. It seemed like, But why don't we talk to Chiefs, man? Because we got to go ahead and fucking do it. We're facing them next week.
I'll run through.
All right. So what do you think of that Chiefs game, man? Go ahead. Yeah. I saw a thing real quick. I'll just say because a lot of people praising that blocked field goal, but I saw a thing that's showing it too. We're taking a closer look at it, and it looks like I think it was the left side. That's good. They just whoever the guards were there just left wide open hole for it to come through and make that block. But go ahead, man. What do you think about the Chiefs? The game? Go ahead.
Well, actually, overall through the season, I think the Chiefs should at least be down 3 games. I think they should have lost 3 games. They should have lost to Baltimore. That little toe. And I mean, it was the tip of the guy's toe. It wasn't even half a foot.
Right.
But anyway, okay, a stroke of luck. Otherwise, they lose. They would have lost yesterday had that guy been blocked and the kick would have been off, right? But like you say, the hole was open for him, so they get to block the kick.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that's what he said. And they should have lost to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They should have lost to the Bengals when they turn around and have 2 holding calls that are overlooked.
Yeah. That was pretty. That was pretty. It was hard to say it's not. The game's not rigged. I don't want to go down that road, but but it's hard to even when you see something like that. I mean, come on, how the fucking what?
Yeah. You know what I mean? And maybe they wouldn't have lost to the Bengals because that would have tied the score. But the option would have been there.
Well, that's the same with the Baltimore game you mentioned, man, because that would have brought the game into overtime probably, and unless Baltimore went for 2 on opening night, which could have happened.
Right. And you can say the same thing with Tampa Bay. Now, if Tampa Bay makes a different choice, and they go for the 2, and I think they would have made the 2 because they were hot at that time. They were driving down the field. It was like Baker was in that mindset, like, you're not going to stop me. I'm going. I'm getting this.
Yeah.
They should have lost a couple. And one last note. I did hear a commentator say today, well, Pat Mahomes hasn't really won a game, been the cause of hasn't really had full control of the game.
Right. Or maybe I haven't really seen much of the leading them down a drive this year, like anything as impressive as like the Bills' final drive yesterday, man, which was, we didn't mention. Yeah. But we all know that the Chiefs are more than capable. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is obviously more than capable of doing that, as much as I don't like to admit it.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people in Buffalo might even kind of, and we don't hate, but don't want to see Patrick Mahomes anymore. And yeah. So we don't want to admit it, but he's still a damn good, hell of a talented quarterback, man. Obviously. So how do you feel about the game next week, man? What are you looking out for? What's going on here?
I think next week's game, I believe Buffalo's going to take it, but I really believe they're going to take it because Buffalo is a better team. They're the better team. I mean, I know that they have Kelsey.
Kansas City's defense is a thing this year, though, too.
Yeah, but is their defense any better than Buffalo's defense? I don't see it.
Spagnuolo's really good, man. You know, Chris Jones. I mean, they got. I'm not saying they're not. I like Buffalo, and I like Buffalo a hell of a lot more. And I think they are also. The more I want to say the more aggressive or the more urgent team, but the Chiefs really want to win 3 in a row. They're fighting for that 3-peat, man, and they're also trying to protect an undefeated season. Does that do anything?
No, their drive to go for 3 in a row, the motivation. Well, of course, that's given them a lot to go, and they have a lot of confidence because they've already won 2.
Exactly, and they're and like I said, and their undefeated season, they're trying to protect that right now too. So, how much aggression do they have coming into this game, and how much does Buffalo have to slay them again? And how much does it mean if they slay them in the regular season anyway? Because that's not the beast we were trying to overcome. We've done that 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. It shows not having to worry about 20% of my passes or whatever have to go to this guy, everybody keeps saying Buffalo really doesn't have a number 1. Even with Amari Cooper, they're not saying they have a number 1. They're just saying, it gives them more chance. That's what Allen said. Everybody's going to eat, man. He knows that he gets his team going out there, his guys. He has enough confidence that if one of them is being double teamed, another one is going to be open someplace. All I have to do is find that, and as Rodney said yesterday, he's looking for the helmet. He goes, well, jersey in this case, because they both have white helmets. Right? He goes, that's all Allen has to do, because he can get that ball anywhere he wants in a very short time, and he can fit it into a very small window. That's one of the things that makes him incredible.
He is going against the...
As you were saying, why does he have to wait till he runs out of bounds?
Yeah. Damn close to.
That's how long it took him.
I think Allen's the most... Right, and I think Allen's is the most dangerous quarterback on the run in the league, for sure.
I do too.
Yeah, he also is going against who is arguably the best quarterback in the league right now, tomorrow, or next week. And so... I believe, like you, though, and I'm going to agree with the basic sentiment there that you trust the Bills' offense versus Kansas's defense a little more than Kansas City's offense versus the Bills' defense right now.
Exactly. I do.
I like it. I can say it. I mean, it's a tough one to go absolute on, but as a Bills fan, that's where I'm going. So, yeah.
I mean, I would be, and we do, I believe, play them this year. Detroit, I'd be a little more concerned with Detroit than I am with Kansas City.
Yesterday was almost let's move on to that game real quick, man.
Yeah, Detroit played it just like Buffalo.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Detroit was throwing interceptions and making mistakes.
4 of them in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, because, they are a team that will come out and have it all game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't come from behind too often. You know, not like Buffalo. Buffalo's come from behind, 4 out of 5 of their 8 wins?
Yeah, this year, yeah.
Maybe 5 of their 8 wins.
Right.
Right. Buffalo, but that's why I say I think Buffalo chooses that way because they, for some reason they need to have the feeling like, all right, we know what you're doing. Now we're going to show you what we're going to do. Where Detroit comes out and says, this is what we're going to do. You stop us. Right. All right, and Goff is having a phenomenal year. I mean, I know 5 picks yesterday, but he made up for it.
Oh yeah, they came back, man. They pulled it out, right? That's a little. They're a scary team, man. I think the Texans, man. What do you think of them now? I mean,
as I told you, I don't think Texans were ever really that good. They surprised people last year. But the book is out on what's his name there, Stroud.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from Stroud. If he's right on, he can be accurate. And he is accurate. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, he's very good.
He can get that stuff, but he has the same problem. Once the defense kind of figures out what the hell he's doing, and they make that adjustment, they shut him down. This is the 3rd time I've seen that guy play, and I only seen him in 3 games. Now, fortunately for them, they pulled out a field goal over Buffalo, or they would have lost that game. They didn't score it other than a field goal the whole second half.
Right.
They had a 20-point lead going into that third quarter. Buffalo shut them down, came back, and then they ended up with a field goal late in the game. Right. Hats off to them. Okay, but the next time I seen them play, he was shut down in the second half, and they lost. That made them 6-2. And last night, he had a 17-point lead or something, 20-point lead. Yeah, I think 20.
Yeah.
And they turned around and they ended up with 3 points by the end of the game, giving them 23.
Right.
But Detroit came back and put up 26 points. Right. You know, well, they put up 16 points on them. They hit 7.
Right.
Right. Something like that.
Yeah, but okay, but I hear you on that, but I don't want to beat him up too hard. He's beat him up too hard here. It's his second year in the league, you know. So, but what about much more established quarterback in the league though, and making his name again, Wilson in Pittsburgh, man. I mean, a lot of people are going, you know, it's Chiefs and Ravens, and then who's the next one? They're kind of putting it between the Bills, Steelers, you know, Texans.
Right.
Well, you talked about the Texans. What about the Steelers, man? How you feel about them?
And the same thing is happening now with Pittsburgh. They're turning around and they're saying, well, you know, Pittsburgh, you know, they're 8-2 right? No, they're 7-2 now. Anyway, the thing is with Wilson, I think Wilson has found himself another Seattle, or landed in another Seattle. And what I mean by that is Tomlin isn't trying to get him, he's trying to get Wilson to play in a different type of setup. No, he has him playing in the way that he when he was with Seattle.
Right.
And he can get that little bit of a wiggle here and there. And when he throws what is now known as the ball, you know, his receivers know. And Williams explained it perfectly. When he told me in the huddle, well, do the fly, right? Look back at me. Look to the sky, because that's where it's coming from. And, you know, when other teams are playing and stuff, they look back to their quarterback, and then they follow the ball, right?
Right.
Williams said he never looked back at him.
Right.
He was running down the side, and he looked at the sky, and he's seen it coming.
Yep.
And guess what Wilson does best? He's got a perfect arm for it.
Yeah.
I think Wilson is in his home. And when I mean in his home where he is, and he doesn't have the pressure on him.
Yeah, he's in a system that fits him now. You know, he didn't fit in Denver.
Right, he didn't, because Denver wanted him to play a certain way. And there was also a lot around it, all that shit about him being, you know, wanted to be the manager, the superstar.
Yeah, kind of a pretty demanding diva, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You know,
apparently doesn't talk to his teammates and stuff. He'll just like leave the locker room and go home or something, whatever. Yeah.
And if Pittsburgh had to be in a short kind of game type thing, they would go back to Fields. Tomlin knows he has in both those quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
Dummy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what scares me most, man, is Tomlin really wants to get him back to the Super Bowl.
I hear you, yeah.
And he's already won.
And it definitely makes
he gets that team rocking and rolling.
Right.
You know?
Definitely makes that team a scarier. But so the last other two games here that I'll mention were one team that's not quite as scary as the Steelers, man. The Jets, you know, and losing 31-6, getting blown out, and then the other blowout of the Eagles, 34-6 over the Cowboys. We'll go over the Jets real quick first, though, man. I mean, because the Jets kind of inspired me. And I normally don't like to do a lot of trash talking or anything, but they kind of inspired me to go, you know, all sorts of shows and podcasts stuff. Everybody does their fucking top 5, top 10, you know, power rankings and shit. Since, you know, we're such homers, as Chuck would call us, you know, we always have the Bills at number 1, so there's no surprises there. At least right now. I mean, you know, so when there's at least a valid argument for it. So I was like, what about the bottom 5? And really the Jets would probably be the number 32 for me. Just even though they clearly have a lot of talent, better than the Panthers and, you know, a bunch of teams. Still, they're so dysfunctional, it seems like. And I mean, I want to say it was Nick Wright, who, you know, as a Bills fan, you normally can't stand that guy. But he was saying, like, you were talking about the Jets and what they're going to do. And he's basically laid out their season since acquiring Devontae Adams, and he's been spot on. He goes, they're gonna lose here to, or they're gonna beat New England barely, or something, and then they're gonna go and they're gonna lose horribly to the Cardinals, and then he went on, I think, with the next ones. But exactly what has happened back to back, and once getting blown out like that, it's like, good Lord, I don't know. So I don't know. What do you think there's? I don't know what to ask you there, but what do you think they're saying? You got any opinion on Rodgers or do you think the Cardinals are even like sort of legit contenders in the NFC? What do you got? Anything fun to add?
As I said last week, I think the Cardinals are showing better. I think Murray is really starting to get into his own groove, feeling comfortable. He's not trying to prove that he can carry the team. But he's setting the example. It's like, all right, I'm your quarterback. I can do this. And the rest of the team is following. It's like Allen. It's like Mahomes. Like when your players see you doing what you're doing, they feel like, we know that the quarterback's the head of the team, all right? But, okay, we'll follow you. Indianapolis, perfect example. The guy that they thought was going to be in charge turned around and tapped out on him. That said a lot. That whole bed felt insulted, I should say. And although they're trying to come back for Flacco, it's going to take a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Now, getting to the Jets, I think their biggest problem was taking on Rodgers right in the beginning 2 years ago. And I think the problem there is, Rodgers only went there, maybe. And if you listen to his ego, why he was having these problems with Green Bay, he didn't want to listen to that head coach, man. That guy's not bad.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur's a good coach, man.
Right. But Rodgers wasn't getting his way. And he repeatedly said, I was the MVP twice. I'm the MVP twice, right? So then he gets this guy, the owner there of the Jets. I don't care what he says. He had that coach fired because he didn't like him. He didn't like the way the guy wanted to call the
100%.
game.
I know. And I don't know how good of a coach Saleh is, but I like Robert Saleh, man. I kind of had hope for him, even though I don't like the Jets. I'm a Bills fan and all that. I still kind of had hope that this guy's going to do well because he was such a good defensive coordinator in San Francisco. But I don't know if that commute is going to carry over to being a great coach. Doesn't have a great record to prove it.
He had a better record than they have now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He may have the final say on what calls are called,
right.
But his mind is into so many different things that he can't concentrate on one certain area. And that's what the defensive coach does, And that's why I give McDermott a lot of credit being a defensive guy himself. Yeah. But he's letting Bobby call his plays and do his thing for 90% of the time. Now, yesterday, I think that final run by Cook into the end zone, when people were saying, well, they should go for a field goal, it was 4th and 1 or whatever the hell it was. But no, it was more than that. I think it was like 2 or 3.
Yeah, 4th and 2.
Yeah, he got 4th and 2. But he was persistent on that. And he agreed with Allen. I'll take the time I'll do another play. He wanted that. He wanted to get that team to 30 points. Yeah. That's just about what they average is 30 points.
Absolutely, man.
And that's another reason why I think
let's go, Buffalo!
That's another reason why Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City isn't putting up that high.
No, they won yesterday with 16. Yeah. But I don't want to sit here and shit on them, man. I sit here and shit on Kansas City, and I put that out in the football universe over here, even with a very moderate audience. I get terrified of jinxing and shit.
With the Jets was Aaron Rodgers, and I think, as I told my wife today, because she watched PFT with me, and I told her, I said, the biggest problem was Aaron Rodgers, for some reason, can't get by the fact that, okay, I'm not Tom Brady, I'm Brett Favre. I'm just fucking retired.
Yeah.
He can't do it.
Yeah, no.
He just can't do it. He wants to be like Tom Brady.
Yeah, he should retire.
He's not. And not many of them are. Not many of them. So far, I don't think, maybe Mahomes and
you got a lot of years to go.
Lamar Jackson, he might even pull it out when he gets to be that age.
Nah, because the way Lamar Jackson plays is very physical, man. I don't know if he's going to be making it to 45.
I don't know. I don't know if any one of the three of them will.
No,
but if they do, they have more of a chance to be winning big.
No, than Aaron Rodgers would.
Than Rodgers.
No, right now, I think he looks like he looks his age and out. I think he should just be out of there. Yeah,
he just can't admit.
A little bit of a cancer where he goes. It seems like because he gave the Packers problems too. But yeah, done with that, man. We can. And I don't think we need to fucking go over really because we're already at 40 minutes here, man, talking and yapping, and I got to edit this thing up. Don't have to worry about the Eagles and the fucking Cowboys. Fuck that game. Good for the Eagles though. Eagles are good. You're right. They're a great team. Yeah, Cowboys are just kind of sad like they are every year. It seems like, man. But I don't want to shit on them.
Now they did impress me.
The Commanders are for real, man. They're a real team, and Pittsburgh beating so is that they're for real too, which is why I'm happy we spoke about that one because both those teams are threats, man.
Okay.
Yeah, just say goodbye real quick, man. You can give a quick prediction or something.
I'm going to put it this way. I really do believe the Bills are going to win, but I don't think there's going to be a blowout. No, not by any means, because they play each other tough.
Yeah.
And Buffalo will pull it off, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. But Buffalo, I believe, will get to their 30 points.
Okay, so you're thinking it's probably something like 30-27, 34 to 28, 32. Yeah, I don't know.
31 to 30. No, I don't think Kansas will get to 30. They might.
Okay.
They might, but I don't.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo's defense better than that.
One thing's for sure, it's going to be a fun fucking game, man. It's going to be a fun game. So yeah. All right, man. Well, go take care of your dog there. Biffaroony needs some attention. It sounds like, man. So go deal with him.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to you later, man.
If the Bills win, they keep their 30-point run going, and that's about it. So next week, folks, remember, go Bills.
All right, Tommy Tomatoes. Thank you, sir. Doubting Thomas, doubting that the Chiefs can beat the Bills next week. Yeah, like I said at the beginning, I understand. The Chiefs they've pulled some shit out of their ass, and they also got one hell of a team. So, we all know what that is. So I wanna see some comments here talking about who you think. Come on, do you think the Bills can do it? Three times during the regular season. They haven't been a monster. There's been nothing to fear really with the midseason Chiefs. It's just a fun game, and but like I was telling Tommy, they riding in here with they want to keep that 9-0. They want to extend it. They don't want to. They're gonna be fighting their asses off. So we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you my prediction now. I'm gonna go ahead and say, and you can say you heard it here. Bill Mullane said so on the DFL podcast. The Bills are going to blow the doors off of the Chiefs. Blow their brakes off, too. Yeah, you guys know a Jeep Wrangler with its doors taken off, but now also give it, a brake problem. That's what we're going to do to them. I'm going to say 38 Bills to 21 Chiefs, 38-21. And that last score by the Chiefs, that third touchdown, is garbage time. All right, let's go Buffalo, baby. Comment, subscribe to this podcast, people. Share it. What do you think you're doing? What are you doing with your life? Sitting around not sharing the DFL podcast? Go do it. Come on now. Well, please. Can I implore you? I implore you. Subscribe, comment, talk, share, run around, have fun, but most importantly, baby, let's go Buffalo! Booyah! See you next week.
We got to 8. Let's go get to 9.